So basically, our bodies felt like they were running on autopilot sometimes. Like our oversoul was just taking over our consciousness, especially in times of distress. And we became stronger than the adults almost in our strategizing, and then impressed them when they played games with us. And, you know, if you think this is far-fetched, just research germ warfare and Nazi experimentation and just how many decades they've been doing mad science. And, you know, it's like 50 years old. There's even things you can research, like Nazis trying to cut off a dog's head just to see how long it would live, or to attach another head to the dog's head. And it's mad science zombie research. That's all it is. And the Plum Island facility, that's actually moved to Kansas now. There's other experiments you can look up, like 2017, some scientist broadcast how he was trying to transplant another human head onto another human head. So it's Frankenstein science, and in Frankenstein science, anything is possible. And Monsanto is given complete immunity in that field, as well as other facilities. DARPA does stuff like that all the time, and then the studies of salamanders have been used to learn how to grow new limbs. And biofluorescence, they turn cats into neon colors and glow-in-the-dark colors. You can research that. You name it, they've done it, basically. So this shouldn't be too unbelievable to a researcher if you take the time to know that a lot of this stuff can be documented. And we fought like the baby AI artilect back then, but now it's a whole new beast, and it's gone to a whole new level, and the whole world is in a spell. And just know that not everybody who's here is alive, and it's a mix of a lot of things, and sometimes man-made creations. And it's blended so closely in with people that the Father's light sometimes is hard to tell the difference in people. And molecular computing is basically what that's doing right now, is it's making new molecules. And we've got the Heisenberg molecular overdrive, and that creates distortion on an electrically charged particle. And that's the singular particles are what's taking over silicon and Silicon Valley. So the nano world is actually a femto world by now. It's surpassed nano by now. So just let that sink in. There's new memory chips being made all the time that are resistive random access memory, what they call RRAM. And it's a current that's actually flowing through the molecules, but also bypasses a regular current, how it would go. And it's moved along a nanoscale metal particle instead, and like they're filaments. And then they continuously grow between electrodes. And it grows exponentially. So human being will gain new memories as you sleep and build a natural organic brain, new neural synapses and other things, and to heal us. But AI doesn't do that. It doesn't sleep, and neither do clones. So it just exponentially keeps wanting more. And clones are rapidly uploaded and trained just like to act like these computers. And this is part of the war. It's for your mind and your soul. Because like one tiny little pencil dot of DNA, that's called a smear of DNA, contains like 1.5 billion base pairs alone. And it can be put on a disc, holographically digitized, put into a water molecule, into an injection. There's digital injections. It can be retweaked, perfected, read back into a computer, and then it upgrades and eats information again and again and again. And they've had prototypes for DNA memory devices for a long time called DNA storage. And they patented the human genome, so our information, they believe, is theirs now. So they can add and build upon it. And the chip builders and the brain builders work hand in hand for the consciousness uploading platforms for the perfect chip to fit into the Ardalic brain that the world will want to download into themselves one day for themselves. And that will be a division between the classes and taking on the image. And the elite AI mega brain will not want humans to exist without this paired image template on them, projected onto them and projecting out of them. And those who don't bear its image will be going into the second exodus. So, and all this this research that came from the underground and the devil's house, the dumbs, their fate's already sealed, because 2 Kings says that the Lord will stretch over a line, a plumb line, and he'll wipe it out as a dish. He'll wipe it out, turn it upside down, and then he'll stretch over it a line of desolation, a plumb line of emptiness. So the Peter Pan programming, it was pretty rough, and the pixie poison plums, I don't know what you want to call them, but they basically rotted the children's brains. As weird as that sounds, that's what happened. And that's really all I have to say about that program and the beginnings of the society's diabolical plans that they laid here, the Anunnaki and their blueprints, and built upon it. And they got the information they needed and base work done and what they needed for their meta, super, molecular, organic, and quantum computer takeoff. Hyperdrive. Because without their tech, they just wither up and blow away. So this fight isn't really against flesh and blood. It's against principalities, dominions, rulers, thrones. That's still been in place since the war in heaven. And it's a war against the old gods that took over Egypt and drove out the Nubian Moors. And South America they even went to, not just Egypt, other places around the world too. But just stand firm in the truth of the Redeemer, and he'll keep you safe and fortified and strengthen your mind to fight the beast's ugly head when you see it and meet it one day. May God bless you and keep you. Pasukia, Dazimra, Goal, Yasoriel.